shined this week, and having a son on the team who is a receiver, this is something that I've noticed we've needed for a couple of years, and that is diversity. And so I noticed last week that one of the reasons we were very successful is that, and I think it was a glimpse at how good Eli can be, is that he distributed the ball to multiple receivers. He didn't just take off run. He scrambled. He bought time. He continued to look for people. I think you saw a glimpse literally of what he can be. We all know how good Kadrick is. And I agree with your first statement that you made about the Geyer recap, and that is getting Kadrick back and Jonesy, by the way, on the defense, on the linebacker. Getting those two dynamic playmakers back will change us. My question to you is, can we integrate Kadrick into the offense and still keep that dynamic sort of spread the ball around game plan that we had last week moving forward? Or do you think we'll fall back into that sort of, oh gosh, let's give it to Kadrick 30 times a game? Because I can tell you it's hard not to when he's so good. But man, this last week, seeing that offense and seeing Eli perform like that, and he did make a couple of mistakes, but still seeing his potential, it sort of threw you back to Sean Robinson's junior year, and to J-Dub, right? To what Geyer used to, or sophomore year. No, you're right. What Geyer used to be and how dynamic we used to be. So I'll leave it with that. What do you think? Can we do the both? Can we run the ball, be tough, and still be dynamic, spreading the ball around?
I mean, I'll answer that simply with just the fact that they've done it before. Like you said, Sean Robinson's sophomore year, 2014, I think. Of course, it helped that they had 3 receivers go on and play Division I football. But,
exactly.
They ran the ball a lot that year. They threw the ball a lot. And then J.W. Walsh's senior year, he had 4 Division I receivers, and he ran for 1,500 yards. So, I mean, the coaches are obviously imaginative enough and want to be able to do that. They just haven't, like you said, they've been in a rut the last few years of really only throwing the ball to 1 or 2 guys, and they have a lot more weapons now. So yeah, I think that'll definitely continue once Kadrick does get back. But like you said, it's hard to not give him the ball 30 times when he's running for 200 yards and scoring 3 touchdowns. So
yes,
Rik
Coach Walsh
Thrailkill,
said that we got 6 guys. He feels comfortable that can catch the ball. That's something that we haven't had in multiple years.
Yeah.
Hey, Rik Thrailkill, thanks so much for joining us on the Fan Zone. We'll try to do this again throughout the season. Bring on fans live, just like we did tonight. I think it worked well. Post your comments and feedback. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck next week.
Thanks, guys. Love your show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, switch headphones. All right, guys. That was, I think that worked pretty well. Let us know. Betty Tuggle joins us, Lake Dallas fan there. Thanks for joining the show. We appreciate that. That's awesome. All right, Boedeker. I know that's hard for you sometimes to bring on a live
guest, but I think technically it worked all right.
Yeah, it's a little loud. We need to work on that. It was loud. I agree with Holbert.
I think Mr. Thrailkill,
his audio output is loud. So I don't know if I can tweak that or not.
But we appreciate that.
All right. Well, let's get back into it. Next up, Boedeker's Beast. Let's do that. We'll run through that one. And we'll get you guys out of here. Awesome. All right. The Beast. Let's bring him up, Boedeker. First up, Dylan Carter, wide receiver, Argyle. 6 catches, 132 yards, 3 E's. See if I can bring up his mugshot here. All right.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Almost 200 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. Like we talked about, that was a blowout.
He was a big catalyst for it, as you can tell by his numbers. this offense just has so many weapons and is just continuing to roll every week. And the thing is, they're not going to be tested again. Like, I think they play Paris coming up, and that'll be somewhat of a test. Oh, sorry, Texarkana Liberty. I lose next, but they're rolling, and this might be their best team yet, which is saying a whole lot. So Carter's one of their biggest weapons, and he just showed it the other night.
A kid we were just talking about, or Rik Thrailkill actually brought up, Eli Stowers, quarterback at DenCoGridiron, young sophomore quarterback, just finished his third varsity game. Big output for him, 240 yards and accounted for 4 TDs. That's much needed. He needed that to get some confidence and the Guyer offensive unit to get behind him.
Yeah, the thing is about that game, he only carried the ball 3 times for 6 yards. And I know once games start to mean more and matter more, I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be running the ball 15 to 20 times a game. And he's very capable of doing that. He's a great runner, but he threw for 234, 3 touchdowns, did throw a couple of picks. His completion percentage wasn't the best, but he hit him with a lot of big plays. I think they averaged over almost 27 yards a pass, or per completion anyway. So he was finding guys downfield. He's a really dynamic player, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he progresses, not only this year, but for the next couple of years.
Another Guyer kid, Khalil Roden, linebacker, running back. Boy, 10 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and he had a TD, carrying the ball only 3 times.
Yeah, 21 yards rushing and a touchdown. He's an explosive player. I know with the Kedrick Cobb's injury, they had talked about, and they had the freshman, I think BJ Phillips, who was also injured earlier in the year. And Walsh was telling me that they're going to have to play Khalil at running back, which is great because he's a good running back, but it also took away from their defense. He's such an explosive player on defense. And, he showed it the other night, 10 tackles and 3 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. So
yeah,
he was making
he
it
showed
tough
up, making things happen. That's awesome. Hey, next up, let's bring him up here. Flower Mound Marcus, Justin Dinka, 160 yards and a TD, and a much-needed win for Marcus.
Yeah, this guy has been one of the best running backs in Texas for a few years now. If you remember Noah Kane, who's now, of course, at IMG Academy, but was at Guyer for 2 years. Him and Justin Dinka are the same age, and they were both stud freshmen in DFW. I mean, they were kind of right there with each other in that, as far as being, freshman starting running back as a freshman at 6A level in DFW isn't very common, and both those guys did it. He's kind of gone up and down a little bit the last couple of years. In his first 2 weeks, he kind of struggled to get loose, but he did the other night, ran for 160. Guys committed to San Diego State, who's put out some really good running backs in recent years.
And that's a nice place to play.
Yeah, I would love
Aztecs.
Anytime you could get to live in San Diego, you're doing something right. But, good game for Dinka. One that was, I'm sure the coaching staff was really pleased to see him finally break loose and have a big rushing total. He scored some touchdowns, but he hasn't really broken out yet, and that was kind of his breakout game.
Yeah, good stuff. Next up, Bo Hogaboom, quarterback at Argyle, 16 of 21 for right over 300 yards. And do we have this right, Boedeker? 6 TDs, is that right?
That's right. Yeah, 6 touchdown passes. I think Argyle had 7 touchdown passes in the game. One of the first one was from a wide receiver, like a little reverse pass, but yeah, he's got it going, man. I mean, like I said, that whole offense is cooking, and he's the catalyst. 6 passing touchdowns is hard to do, and going 16 for 21 is just a model of efficiency, especially when you end up with over 300 yards. So, big game for Hogan.
Good stuff. Congratulations on that outing. Hey, let's wrap this thing up with picks. You had a little bit of an off week last week, Boedeker.
I did.
4 for 4 is unusual for you.
Yeah, 4 and 4.
I'm sorry, 4 and 4. Yeah. Correction.
Correcting you.
Won 4, lost 4.
Yeah.
There we go.
That might be my worst week in the history of this show, but
the sports
I
prognosticator.
think it dropped me to 15-7 on the year, which I'm not terribly happy with. But
first up, hey, Denton Ryan. Denton Ryan, it's still crazy to me, these point spreads. Denton Ryan minus 22 on the road at West Mesquite. All these games have been moved to Thursday. Is that right?
All of them. Right. This one was originally on Thursday, but our other ones were supposed to be Friday, but have been moved to Thursdays because it's.
So obviously, we're going to go with Ryan on this one all the way. 3-touchdown favorite, even though they're on the road.
Ryan.
Coach Hennigan, he always has them ready.
Yeah,
for those trips.
Like we said all year, they're a different team than they were last year without Spencer Sanders and all the stud wideouts. But that defense is back to being a, dominant Ryan defense, and they're playing well on offense too. But the defense is kind of stolen the show so far, and that'll continue, I think, with another big win over West Mesquite.
All right. Hey, next up, Lake Dallas looks to rebound. Second district game on the road at Princeton. It's just a 7-point favorite. They'll be playing on Thursday night as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lake Dallas for a nice rebound game here. I mean, I think Ryan Depperschmidt will have another big game, and I think they'll win it fairly comfortably. Yeah,
I do too. I stopped by there Monday after practice, and you could tell the mindset, all the coaching staff, the players, everybody, they got a job to do, and I think they'll get it done.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. All right, next up, Frisco Memorial at Denton Braswell. Wow, Braswell's a 25-point favorite.
Yeah, biggest favorite.
Who would have thought that?
The whole week. Yeah, I know. This just goes to show you kind of how people perceive Braswell. Yeah, they haven't won a whole lot of games, but they're poised to. They won 2 games last year. They're going to win more than that this year. I'm convinced. And Memorial is a brand new school, so I think this will be a game where Braswell rolls, and it'll be a nice home win for them.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's good for the Bengals. And then last up, light week, like we mentioned, Liberty Christian, big underdog on the road at Plano Prestonwood, 23-point underdog. Has this one been moved to Thursday as well?
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, I think Liberty is going to struggle. Plano Prestonwood always puts together a pretty strong football team.
Yeah, tons of big recruits at Prestonwood all the time. The thing about this game is it's Liberty Christian's first-year head coach, Stephen Greek. He was the offensive coordinator at Prestonwood before he came to Liberty. So, I mean, he's going to be familiar with
what they have.
X
factor.
It might be the X factor. But Prestonwood is just absolutely loaded. But then again, like I said, I'm still in shock that Liberty Christian was up 21-0 on Brock in the third quarter before that game was called. So, you never know. I'm going to go with Preston win the game, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a blowout. So, we'll see. But don't be shocked if Liberty does something crazy.
That would be cool. Well, hey, that brings us to the end. We do want to thank our friends at Shoal Creek Tavern. I've got it up on the screen right now. Boedeker live remote September 29th. That's a Saturday morning. So not our normal Wednesday night, but we'll be there Saturday morning, 10 a.m. for our first live remote of the year. And then November 3rd over at Verf's down the street, conveniently located in Highland Village area, Flower Mound. We did it last year.
I believe Verf's is in Flower Mound.
And Shoal Creek and Highland Village.
Is a divider.
There you go.
It's right on the other side of 407.
But they're both down there right in the middle of really our coverage map. So it's perfect. We'll be eating on the air, having fun. Our friend Greg Tepper from Fox Sports Southwest and Dave Campbell's Texas Football is going to join us.
It's fun. It's always a good time. Greg's
and who knows who else
guy.
might show up. You never know who might show up live.
Never know.
You think the Fan Zone live makes you nervous? What if we bring on some live special guests?
I will not allow that.
All right.
One more thing. About that punt return with North Texas with Keegan Brewer, the old Lake Dallas guy. He's been all over the, like I said, national media the past few days, but tonight he's on Mike Ducey's new show on Fox.
Oh, yeah.
10:30 Free for All.
I like Ducey.
Check that out and hear what he has. Him and the special teams coach, I think, are both on there. So
that's amazing.
Tune in and hear what they have to say about that once in a lifetime play that we'll never see anything like it again, I imagine. But and support Mike Ducey's new show because he's a funny guy.
Yeah, I like Ducey.
His new show is a pretty cool format. So
he